What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can tell by the title of today's video, I'm going to be walking you through what we've learned over the last 30 days, spending close to $500,000 in a single ad account. And you heard that correctly, right? Close to $500,000. It says $500,000 in the title. It was actually around like $489,000, $490,000 at a 3x return on ad spend. I'm going to walk you through what we've learned over these last 30 days, what you can take away, and how you can implement this for your brand. So before we go ahead and dive in, guys, if you can go ahead and just quickly drop a like, share this with someone that you think might find this interesting. It really does help with the algorithm, guys, and to make sure that these videos get pushed to the right people. And as always, if you're interested in having my team help grow your brand on the agency side, link in the description to apply to work with our team. We manage paid ads, email and SMS marketing, conversion rate optimization, and user generated content. But guys, let's go ahead and dive into the ad account. We're on the ad account now. I'm just going to go ahead and give this a quick refresh, right? So over the last 30 days on this account, we've spent over $480,000 US with over a 3x return on ad spend, generating the brand $1.4 million in revenue in just the last 30 days. And what have we learned from this, right? So I'm going to walk you guys through all of our learnings, how the ad account is structured and set up, and why we're doing these things. But let's just quickly dive into the KPIs a little bit further, right? So first things first, I want you guys to look at is we are currently acquiring customers for less than $20, $18.87 over the last 30 days for an average order value of $57, right? There's a lot of room here, especially with a product like this. This is pretty much like a phone accessory brand, phone cases, different things like that. And so their margins are, pretty great. And the cool thing here is like, our unique cost per click is around $2. As again, it could be a little bit lower, but generally if you go back and look at our unique click-through rate, this is one of the main KPIs we're looking at to sort of determine what is the overall performance of the creatives on our account. And you can see this is over 3%, which is great. And then you can see here our CPM is around $8 and our frequency is a little bit higher. It's around 8 over these last 30 days, but that's fine, right? And the reason why I say that, guys, is again, not only does this brand have a very large number of designs and different SKUs, but put yourself in the shoes of the customer, guys. How many times does it take you to see an ad, to finally click on it, go down the rabbit hole? Maybe you're not interested, you see the ad, 2 or 3 days later. Again, so making sure that your frequency actually is at bare minimum above like a 3, 4 is actually really important in my eyes, because that lets me know that like we're not oversaturating the audience, right? With this remarketing campaign, we might be a little bit, it's closer to a 12x. So we're probably going to expand that and again, probably eventually just turn that off. But the thing is here is it's spending a very small budget. If I go back, it's spending, over the last 30 days, we have campaigns spending $150,000. This campaign has spent less than $13,000. So it's very low and it's still a really great return on ad spend. So we're gonna let that run. We might turn down the budget or expand a little bit just because it is becoming a little bit saturated. But the thing to understand here, guys, is again, like getting a little bit of a higher frequency is not a bad thing, right? Especially top of funnel. It allows us to understand like, hey, our ads are hitting the same people multiple times over and over again. And that's actually going to improve recallability, going to improve the click-through rate, and ultimately drive better returns. Because I can tell you right now, the click-through rate is going to increase after someone's seen an ad 3 or 4 times compared to the very first time that they're seeing an ad, right? So don't be afraid of improving the frequency a little bit and getting it a little bit higher. You can see as of right now, we are spending around $15,000 a day. Yesterday, the brand, I think, made around $120,000 in revenue, and we generated $70,000. I think they're, in the midst of a sale. You can see the cost per acquisition was $11 yesterday on a $51 average order value. Today, right, things are looking great as well, right? We've already spent $8,300 today. It's currently 4 p.m. as of recording this, and the store is actually on MST time, so it's 4 p.m. EST, so it's probably 2 p.m. actually on the store's time. We spent close to $10,000 already with almost a 3x return on ad spend. How are we doing this? Right? What does this all mean? How are we spending? How did we get to the point of, over the last 30 days, spending close to $500,000 with a return on ad spend like this? Well, it's obviously about building a foundation. I'm going to walk you through each individual campaign and why they're important to one another. So we're going to start here with our remarketing campaign. And again, this is just like where we are legitimately remarketing website audiences specifically, right? So you'll see here, add to cart last 30 days, initiate checkout last 30 days, a website visitors over the last 30 days. We're targeting all of them. We're throwing in a ton of different creatives inside of here. And so inside of each of these ad sets, there's probably about 4 to 5 individual creatives. I'm not going to pull them up just for the sake of, making sure the brand is not, given away here. This is just a small little remarketing campaign. Again, we're not spending too much here, less than 10% of the monthly budget. Cost cap test. So again, this is where we're pretty much advertising completely broad cost caps. As you can see, we have a couple that are actually being able to scale at a $35, $33 cost cap, right? We're spending $14,000 cumulatively each. And in this one campaign alone, we've spent $46,000. And if I open this up, again, we probably have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different creatives in here that are, we're basically allowing the cost cap to test. And we're going to be interchanging these out based off of performance. But you can see, with this brand, our goal cost per acquisition is pretty much anything under $25. And so we're fine, right? These creatives are absolutely printing. There's no need to change them out. We're just going to be looking to absolutely scale the budget here. Moving on, this is actually really, really cool. So we were seeing a pretty big, not decline in this account, but like stagnancy over the last, I would say like 90 days. And we ended up adding an Advantage Plus campaign on the 10th of June. And this has driven a lot of traffic to the entire funnel, cumulatively driving a lot of results for the brand, right? And I'll show you if we open up in here. Advantage Plus, very, very simple, a single ad set. Inside of here, we have some of our best creatives. And again, over the last 30 days, this has spent $74,000 with a $20 cost per acquisition. And again, this is not just like, again, because we're looking at the results here on the ads manager, one of the most important things to understand, guys, is like there is misattribution, right? So like there are sales that are coming from the Advantage Plus that are showing up in the prospecting. There are sales that are coming from the prospecting that are showing up in the remarketing and so on and so forth. So this is why, again, as much as we are looking at individual campaign, ad set, and creative performance, we're looking at overall account performance, right? And making sure that we can be able to understand overall holistically how is the account performing, because small things like this, adding in an Advantage Plus campaign, even though it may not be spending the most, I can guarantee you it's driving a very large volume of overall traffic to the funnel. And then we have basically a broad ABO campaign here, again, which we're scaling. This has spent $92,000. And again, same premise, guys. If I open up any single one of these ad sets, there's probably going to be anywhere between 3 to 4 creatives per individual ad set. You can see we have this one here that has 10, but there's only one that is active, right? So again, this is sort of how we're thinking about these things, is when we're giving individual creatives to ad sets, we're not trying to, overwhelm Facebook with, 10 different creatives to choose from, really limiting it to 4 to 5 different creatives. And again, this allows us to kind of get a decent amount of spend across all of them, but even still, right, there's only 4 creatives in here. You can see if I sort by amount spends in this one random ad set that I've pulled up, $3,400 in spend, $2,800 is on a single creative. It is driving a $19 cost per acquisition, but why are we not, it's unfortunate that we don't even have $100 in spend on these final 2 creatives in the last 30 days. But again, that's where we allow Facebook to tell us what to do. We're not going to be giving Facebook the direction. We're going to listen to their response. And then basically here, guys, what we have is basically a prospecting DCT where we're just doing a lot of like social proof, UGC, product focused stuff. So like there's a billion variations of creatives in here. But again, if I open them up, these are dynamic creatives, right? So it shows one creative per ad set, but inside of here, there are multiple creatives, probably like 4 to 5 per ad set that are actually testing. Then we're taking the data from the DCT, moving them into the prospecting, and so on and so forth. And then same thing with the CBO. Eventually, once we get the results, or actually rather, the one thing I will say here is with our CBO campaign, you'll see there's freaking literally 68 live ad sets, probably over 60, but that's because we are doing so many different white label campaigns here. So the names are going to be blurred out, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 right there alone. Those are over 10 different accounts that we're white labeling with. So this is just kind of the campaign that we're hosting all of that within. Before, what we used to have is have individual campaigns per white label. It got a bit too messy. We ended up having literally 60 campaigns. So we've consolidated that into one main campaign. This is sort of like our white label campaign where we're, utilizing those collections, not only advertising on the brand's account, but advertising on the creator's account as well. And you can see this is where we're spending the most amount of money in the last 30 days. $149,000 was spent here on a $15 cost per acquisition with a $57 return on ad spend. And so, guys, the main thing here, what I would say is, again, how are we spending? First of all, what are we taking away from, spending $500,000 over these last 30 days? Number one is that account structure is one of the most important things that you can utilize. Again, we saw a pretty big decline in results over the last 90 days. And that's because, like I said, we had so many different campaigns. You can see 86 different campaigns. We obviously didn't have 86 running at one time, but we had probably upwards of 40 to 50 different campaigns running, and it was just ultimately way too much just because of the sheer number of white label accounts that we're working with this brand. But we've consolidated things. And number two is what I would say is utilizing Facebook's tools, right? Utilizing things like the Advantage Plus and cost caps are one of the main factors that actually allowed us to start to increase performance over these last 30 days. And again, if I even pull up over the last, even from May to now, right, essentially just a little over a 90-day period, we've spent over $1.5 million, guys, with a 2.5x return on ad spend, $22 cost per acquisition, right? But you can see how in these last 30 days, the return has become much more significant, right? We're seeing, a pretty consistent over a 2.6, 2.7 return on ad spend. Over the last 14, it's 2.7. Over the last 7 days, it's a 2.8 return on ad spend. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope there was something that you guys could take away. I know this is kind of a fast-paced video, but those are honestly the two main things that I would say to take away here, right? Is like account structure, utilizing Facebook's tools, and the last one, the third one would just be obviously the importance of a multiple creative. I think throughout the entire account, we probably have over 150 active individual creatives, and that's actually allowing us to continuously move the needle forward as opposed to, scaling very slowly, right? So making sure that you do have that inflow of content is so important. So guys, I'm gonna end it off here, right? I hope you enjoyed this video. This is something that, again, our team is spending upwards of $2.5 million a month across all of our clients just on Facebook, not even including Google and TikTok. And on this one account alone, right, we're spending close to $500,000 a month. And our goal for Black Friday, Q4, is to crank this up to over $1 million a month in ad spend. So super excited to keep you guys a part of this process. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, as I mentioned, drop a like, and if you're interested in applying to work with our team, whether it's paid ads, email and SMS marketing, conversion rate optimization, or user generated content, links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you in the next one.